Hi, I'm Sara Burns, and I want to thank you for taking some time and listening to my video here today at Sacred Transformations. Today, I want to talk about another Reiki myth. I've been kind of putting a series together, and so it's more of a misunderstanding, I think, than a myth. But one of the things that's typically said about Reiki is the energy just goes where it goes. And I think the misconception is that we think we can just put our hands on a person and that energy can just be safely transmitted. There's nothing we have to think about at all. And that's not true. The energy of Reiki, when we're instilling energy, it actually follows the same pathways of Qi does in acupuncture, in the meridians. Now the difference is with energy healing, we are not focused so much on acupoints as we are with the flow and understanding the flow of these energies and how things can become disharmonious by the state of our thoughts and how that creates blockages within our being. So I said this is a misconception, and the misconception comes also in understanding that we aren't just looking at the physical body in energy healing. We are looking at the physical body, but we're looking at the etheric layer, we're looking at the astral layer, we're looking at the mental body, and we're looking at the spiritual field. And so when I'm working with someone, I encourage them to come for at least 4 sessions consistently. The reason I have that done is because it's usually not in the first session that we're really going to see what needs to get realigned. And when I say that energetically, when I'm putting my hands on somebody, yes, empathically, I can feel where the blockages are in the body. But what I mean by learning what we need to work on, it's usually not very surprising to me that in a session or 2 afterwards, that someone will come into me and go, "You won't believe what happened to me," or "This person came out from my past." And in fact, I had a really off the wall situation with one client last fall where she had moved here from another state, and she was telling me about her issues she had with this girl who was bullying her in grade school. And come to find out that she met this girl again that week at her gym here in California. Now, it's those weird stories that we begin to look at, like, what needs to heal with the person. So obviously her situation, for example, was how she had been bullied by this person and what an imprint that had on her throughout the rest of her life so far. And so it was working through that process of this relationship with this person who had previously been a bully. Another example that was really very powerful for me, I have many stories, but this one's a relatively short one, where this girl had been struggling with a divorce case from her husband, who just happened to be an attorney, so you can imagine that was probably hell for her. And it just kept going on and on and on for years. And at the second visit, she came in to share this horrific story about how he wanted to take the children away. And CPS shows up and the whole thing. Well, as the work continued and the energy was clearing, it became very clear to the courts what was actually going on with this attorney. And things got realigned to stop some of the game playing that this other person had been doing to her for years. But sometimes it's kind of like popping a pimple. You have to break it open and just let it all come out so that the pieces can come back together. So when we talk about let the energy flows where it needs to flow, I personally don't feel that that's talking about the energy through the body and you just become a nebulous being and just let things happen the way they do. You, as a healer, need to take responsibility for how that energy is flowing. So what that means is if you don't know how energy flows through the body, then you probably need some more education on learning how to manage those energies so that you're not causing more harm than good. And there can be more harm than good. And that's another video I'm going to do shortly here. But what I want you to understand is when we talk about the energy flowing where it needs to flow, we're not just talking the physical body, we're talking about the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body. We're talking about how your energy is being influenced by the outside world as well. And so that's why it's important to, when you're working on people, that you don't just leave them hanging after one session. And if you do that, at least give them the education to know that things are going to kick up for them and to be prepared, because sometimes that can be a very tumultuous thing. And as a healer, it is your responsibility to educate your clients on what's going on and not just tell them everything is bliss and fluff and fine, because that's irresponsible. So I hope this helps you understand a little bit better about what it means when we say the energy flows where it needs to flow. I'm Sara Burns, and if you have any questions about energy healing or your own health issues going on, please reach out to me. Either give me a call or send me an email through my website, centerforsacredtransformations.org. Take care and have a great day.